where they actually wrote, and I thought it was a joke at first that someone was trolling me in the chat, but they are actually gonna buff Kazuya. What's up guys, MainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and I hurt my finger on my microphone. I hope you're all doing awesome as always. I'm doing alright, I'm a little bit sick, you might hear it on my throat. Feel sorry about Masku man, the scrap man. Little bit of a cold or a flu, it sucks, and it happens when it's 28 degrees outside. You know, in Sweden we have winter for 8 months, and then we have 3-4 months where we have summer. And it's been really nice here. It's been like 28 degrees for like 10 days. But that's when I catch a cold. It's not when it's 0 degrees outside. It's when it's actually warm. And I don't get it. But oh well, that's how it goes. That's my luck. I ate the 50-50. But enough about me and more about Tekken 8. Amazing news. This whole big old patch, the defensive buff patch, and a big old, you know, a character adjustment balance patch. We got 104 a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, and we knew we were going to get 105 because we've been teasing this patch since 104. And they didn't give us too much detail, but they said we're going to, in general, buff the core mechanics of the game on the defensive side. You're going to have more utility with sidestepping, etc. And we need to take down Heat Burst a little bit. They mentioned a few things and throws. And they also mentioned a couple of characters they wanted to look at, like Paul, for example, and also Victor. So Paul toning up and Victor hopefully toning down. They need to tone down Expulsion, Power Crush, and Wall Running 2. Basically, those 3 moves are Victor in essence. But we have more information on this patch now, and we know it hits in just a few days. So it hits on June the 11th. Today it's the 7th, so that would make it Tuesday. And I think we're gonna get, no, I know, because they say it here, we're gonna get patch notes the day before. So that's on Monday, so we'll know exactly what we're going to get. This is great news. I think Tekken since 104 has been in a much better place. But hopefully, this game will truly shine with this patch. And so this was dropped to the main Tekken account, but also the Japanese Twitter account gave more detailed information. Where they actually wrote, and I thought it was a joke at first that someone was trolling me in the chat, but they are actually going to buff Kazuya. Which I think is nice because the character, I think he's solid, but he does too little damage, and the combos are very clunky. So they did mention him specifically that he's getting buffed, so I'm happy for Kazuya players, and I'm hoping it's on the combo end of things, because down for the 1 hitbox is not all that. It's very messy, it drops sporadically. It, in general, it just doesn't feel like Kazuya hits as hard as he should when he's comboing you. And it didn't help when they nerfed Heaven's Gate. Ever since this game was released, his damage has been going down instead of up. And I don't think that's warranted on that character. But that's my personal opinion. And we also know Paul is getting buffed, and Raven apparently is also going to get buffed, which makes sense. He's very gimmicky and tricky to play against. And I know how you feel. Most of the time against Raven, you lose because you don't really know what he's doing. But if you know what he's doing, he's just not strong at all. Even though he has a homing down for 1 and some nice utility. But as everyone does in this game. It's like, who is really low tier in Tekken 8? Kuma is a character people would say he's low tier because his frames are so poor. Takes huge risks, is very clunky, slow to get going, can't sidestep, crumbles under pressure. But if he launches you, the damage resembles something we saw in Tekken 7 with Geese and Akuma. He can do 80% in Rage. Is that the true definition of low tier, though? I feel like everyone is sort of solid in this game, like Tekken 7, but certain characters are just OP. But so in terms of more information, those characters we know are going to get buffed. I'm hoping Victor gets nerfed. King needs nerfs, Shaheen needs nerfs, but I don't think it's happening. Lily, Xiaoyu. Reina is potentially the best character in the game, but I think she flies too much under the radar because she's too hard to pilot. But when you stop to think about it, she might be the best character in the game. But other great news, the Japanese Twitter account also mentioned that in terms of a defense buff you will see, again, take it with a grain of salt, but in my opinion it seems confirmed because the Japanese official Twitter wrote it out. They wrote that heat dash at the wall will no longer give you a wall crush effect. So you know how you do a heat dash in the open, you get +5 on block, but when you crush them into the wall, you get +18. It seems like they're going to remove that. So you'll get a normal +5, even at the wall. And this is actually really good because, I mean, Kazuya really liked this due to down back 1-2. If you block that +18, he gets an uninterruptible forward 4 or, you know, any kind of mix-up on you. He doesn't get that anymore now. You can easily sidewalk left, etc. Brian is not going to get a guaranteed taunt on you, etc., etc., etc. But this is good because that was a bit obscene. Considering the chip damage it also did, the heat dash. It was a little bit obscene. So, and also, you know how you didn't like the situation where you get launched in Tekken 8, taken to the wall, they heat burst, wall combo, and on wake up, they dash into you. You're already like down 50% of your health. And now that chip is like 20 on your block. Now you're close to dying, and you're at -18, with your back towards the wall. So I think this is a good change. And then they want to increase the use of lateral movement. This is sidestepping, moving with depth, as we do in Tekken, you know, the last remaining 3D fighter. They're gonna change heat burst. I think this means that if you catch out someone, he's probably gonna heat burst now, you'll be able to sidestep it. I think that's what they mean. It's not gonna track anymore. And this is really good, because all you've had so far is, can I make him whiff with a backdash? But if you can actually read a heat burst now and step it, that's fucking huge. And that would be a nice breaking up this streamlined offense we have in this game. Where you press 2 buttons, activate heat burst, and your opponent has no counterplay. We always have counterplay in Tekken. And speaking of counterplay, they also mentioned froze in the same sentence when talking about lateral movement. And I'm praying to the Lord in heaven that this means that they will finally remove the homing property on froze. If that happens, like, Tekken 8 is going to be, in my opinion, close. I mean, I'm not going to use the word perfect, but close to pretty fucking flawless. It is a great game, but these things needed to change. If we're able to step froze now, froze can still have this countered property, although they've nerfed the countered property to, what was it? 15 frames, 14 frames, instead of 10 frames. And this is also something the Japanese Twitter account specified, so it seems like it is happening. This was just a short preview, but now you know it's happening. It's happening on Tuesday. Patch notes will drop on Monday. I'll be here on my stream going over them if you want to be here live with me. Or, of course, I'll drop it all to YouTube. And on Tuesday, I can't wait to break down the patch. And we'll see what's up with all of the characters. But from everything they've said, it sounds really, really good. And it does sound like they're listening to the community. It seems like they are listening to us, because pretty much everything we vocalized, they're looking at. So I feel really good about Tekken 8 right now. And God knows, it's a super good game. But in terms of a gameplay, there were a few things that were just like absolutely soul-crushing to go up against. And it was Heat Burst, Heat Smash, Homing Froze, certain characters we could mention. But I'm really happy about this. So I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you soon again.